Can I please have William Lopez to the stage? William is Assistant Police Chief Phil Collum's husband and will be sharing their story.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for all being here and for the purpose of this organization and putting it together. I didn't plan any words to share in advance of today. I was privileged to be the husband of Phillip Collum, Assistant Chief Phil Collum for Chula Vista Police Department, where he served for over 29 and a half years with that organization. Prior to that, he was in school at UC Santa Cruz, where he had an affinity for law enforcement. He started there as a dispatcher and then wrapped up school there, went on to the academy in Santa Cruz, where he served as a law enforcement officer there for 3 years prior to coming down to Chula Vista, a suburb of San Diego, where again he served and moved up to the ranks of assistant chief. Very different from the reason why this organization exists today, where he wasn't recognized, where other law enforcement folks are not recognized for being gay. Chula Vista was very different. They respected him, they honored him, they were there by my side through the entire process. In November of 2023, Philip was diagnosed with sarcoma cancer, a rare form of cancer, where very quickly that disease rapidly spread through his body, and he passed away on April 12th, 2024. We had 3 dogs together. We again had 17 years together, 12 of which were married. Someone that obviously I will hold in my heart forever. And again, thank you for the organization for honoring him and for all others that are being honored today.
Can I please have Chula Vista Police Captain Scott Adkins to the stage?
I do now. Thank you. I wasn't sure I was going to be coming up here, so luckily I jotted myself down a few notes. I am Scott Adkins. I'm a captain with the Chula Vista Police Department, and I'm here to represent our Chief of Police, Roxanna Kennedy, who could not be here today, unfortunately, due to some other pressing obligations. But she wanted me to express her gratitude and thankfulness for having us here and honoring our late, great Assistant Chief Phil Collum. I would also like to thank the LGBT Fallen Officers Foundation and their board members for bringing us all here together. The MLK Junior Library for having us here, and then all of you, family, peers, and friends of our fallen, so that we could gather here today to honor them. I would also like to thank William. We appreciate you. And William, over the years, being the husband of our assistant chief, became part of our family at the Chula Vista Police Department. And I feel that we are here as much to support and honor you as we are to honor our late assistant chief and all the others that we are here to honor. Assistant Chief Phil Collum. So he began his career in '94, so 34 plus years in law enforcement, and it shadows my career. I was with the Chula Vista Police Department for 28 years, and but I was lucky and fortunate enough to have known Phil Collum. Although I recognize what he meant to the LGBT community, which was tremendous, he was a pioneer in that respect with his career in law enforcement, and to the level that he rose within our ranks. He was our first black, openly gay law enforcement leader within our organization for the ranks of lieutenant, captain, and ultimately assistant chief. But I think regionally, he was also a pioneer in that community as well. And, my experience with him was tremendous. He had a tremendous impact on our organization. He was polished. He was intelligent. He was caring, empathetic. There were times, and having been worked with him for so many years, I either worked with him or he was my supervisor for a lot of those years. And look into him and just the characteristics that he displayed towards the community, but to all of us. There were times when he was always a champion of the underdog. And so there were times when he would, be, as the assistant chief, be taking phone calls from members of the community that I would sometimes question as to, AC, why spend your valuable time during the day to deal, because as you know, we deal with, people that sometimes have all kinds of things going on. And his position was that everybody needed to be heard, and so he demonstrated, how he valued members of our community, by being present, by listening to them, that was for us, for those of us who were aspiring to be leaders, that was an incredible role model for all of us, and he was greatly appreciated. But I kind of wrote down some notes and just the various characteristics of the things that were great about Phil Collum. And I generated quite a list. And I couldn't think of a single thing, a single negative about the man. He was a great human being. He is deeply missed. And we are greatly appreciative of you honoring his life and legacy today. So thank you all.
In addition to Captain Adkins, joining us from the Chula Vista Police Department is Agent Carlos Marquez and Officer Daniel Hernandez. I was amazed to see that the Chula Vista Police Department sent 3 of their officers to this memorial service. It speaks volumes about how they felt about Assistant Chief Collum and how much they support his husband, William.